Speaker.
Mr. Herrera, for what purpose?
Does the representative yield for questions?
Mr. Schaefer, do you yield for question?
I will yield.
Representative Schaefer, both you and I serve on criminal jurisprudence, correct?
That's correct.
And this is a bill that went before the committee?
Yes, it is.
And I know that I shared the concerns as well that you did about this not being an efficient expedition, and we've concluded that both you and I have that it is not efficient expedition, correct?
We have concluded that the scope of this bill would only apply to cases where a person was found to be actually innocent and exonerated under the law.
And right. And so it's only limited to those cases where a person has in fact been exonerated, and that means that the person was at some point wrongfully convicted of a crime that they did not commit, and through subsequent evidence has been proven to be innocent. And so that is an individual that has been exonerated. And we, as members of the House, have known and even met some of these individuals that have served up to 20 years after being wrongfully convicted. Correct?
That is correct.
And what this bill intends to do is to find out why it is that individuals in Texas are wrongfully convicted, and so that we learn from those mistakes and so that we don't subject anyone else as an innocent person to a wrongful conviction. Is that your understanding?
I believe that is the intent of the bill.
All right. And your amendment would further clarify that that is in fact the intent of this bill?
Yes, it would.
And explain that it is limited in its scope to those cases where the individual has been exonerated. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. I think you have a good amendment, and I appreciate your support for this bill as well.
I move passage.
Mr. Speaker, members, this amendment simply, on page 4, line 4, there's a sunset provision, which now is the year 2025 for the Commission. This will reduce that sunset to 2021. So instead of 12 years, it'll be 8 years, and this is acceptable to the author.
Mr. Speaker,
Ms. Crownover, for what purpose?
will the gentleman yield?
Mr. Leach, do you yield for question?
I will.
So would you restate, because we had misstated, this changes it from how many years to how many years?
Under the current her current bill, it's 12 years. This will reduce it to 8.
And I think that is a good amount of time. I was on the phone this morning with the Denton County DA. He read the bill, called me back, and he had no problem with it. He said it is absolutely something overdue. I voted for this bill 2 years ago, and I will be voting for it today. Thank you so much to Representative Ruth Jones McClendon.
I agree. I am proud to support this bill, and would encourage other members to do the same.
Members, I appreciate your time and consideration of this effort. When I first came to this body in 2009, I met a woman who changed my life, and she probably doesn't know the impact that she made on me. Her name was Ruby Session, and her son, his name is on this bill. It was on the bill that we carried in 2009. He was a promising young man, a college student, and a veteran who died alone in prison after 14 years there, and he was innocent. When I met Ms. Session, when I heard her story, I knew that I had to do everything in my power to change the way we do things in our criminal justice system. I still carry with me a handwritten letter from Ms. Session. It consists of 2 simple sentences that both start with the words, "Thank you." Unfortunately, what she was thanking us for in 2009 were rectifying wrongs of the past.
I'll show you.
This bill makes sure that we move forward in the best way possible. I support this bill wholeheartedly. I thank Representative McClendon for continuing this fight, and I urge you to please vote yes on this bill.
The second day of session, 9 men joined us on the dais. These are 9 men who are brothers, sons, dads, granddads, all of whom spent considerable amount of time in prison, locked up by the state for crimes that they did not commit. Having sat on the Criminal Jurisprudence Committee over the past several months during the hearing on this bill, we've heard from numerous other men and women in Texas who spent time in prisons for crimes they didn't commit. And so our response as legislators, we can certainly apologize on behalf of the state. We compensate them accordingly. But I also think that we owe it as legislators, as public servants, to fix the problem. When an airplane lands or when an airplane crashes, we don't just say, oh, well, that's part of air travel, and go on down the road. We say, there's a problem. We're going to figure out what it was, and we're going to fix it going forward. And that's what this commission is set up to do, is to identify problems in the system, to figure out why these men were exonerated, and to fix the problems going forward. I am proud to support this bill with Representative McClendon, and encourage you to do the same.
Mr. Leach, you yield for question?
Yes, sir.
Come and yield.
Mr. Leach, you do support the death penalty, do you not?
I do.
As do I. Are you trying to get rid of the death penalty here?
No, sir.
If someone is put to death and we later found out that that person was innocent, should that not be brought to this commission?
I'm sorry, say it again.
If someone is actually executed, and sometime after that person is executed, we found out that that person is innocent, should that not be brought to this commission?
Absolutely it should. Yes, sir.
Mr. Leach, you've got a really good, or Ms. McClendon has a wonderful bill.
Absolutely, I agree. Thank you. Thank you, members.
Chair recognizes Representative McClendon to close.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I appreciate all of you who have worked with me over the interim to bring this bill to you, and I move adoption.
Question that occurs on passage and engrossment of House Bill 166. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. House Bill 166 is passed to engrossment. Members, this notice, Representative Larson's bill is at the end of the calendar today. Intends under Rule 7, Section 37, to reconsider the vote by which House Bill 397 was finally passed.